Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
Hello and welcome into the Salamander Society. This is my Royal Rumble and NXT Takeover review, and I'm going to get right into it here with NXT Takeover. Starting off with Roderick versus Cien Almas. The winner of this one, I feel, is going to be Roderick. It's pretty simple too. Cien just can take a loss in this scenario, and I don't feel that Strong can. I don't feel that he is able to take a loss in this scenario. So that's that. On to Ty Dillinger versus Eric Young. This is going to be really fast. I'm not going to just sit here for an hour and review it. I think you guys want it kind of quick. You just want my winner and you want why. So that's what I'm going to give you. Ty Dillinger versus Eric Young. The winner going to be Eric Young, I believe. And this feels like the heel needs to go over. His family is probably going to get involved in the finish, and he's going to go over. This just adds to the story of Ty Dillinger, who's my favorite wrestler in NXT, probably second to Bobby Roode. This feels like Eric Young needs to go over, just adding to the story of Ty Dillinger. On to the women's fatal four-way, featuring Asuka, Nicki Cross, Peyton, Royce, and Billie Kay. And the winner of this is going to be Asuka. It'll come down to her and Nicki Cross, because that would be awesome, and that's what needs to happen at least. And she'll get the best of her this time, but I expect Nicki Cross to take that championship off of her later on down the road, maybe even Orlando. Onto the tag team titles. This is the DIY, Gargano and Ciampa versus Authors of Pain. And surprise, surprise, I see the winners of this match being the Authors of Pain. I feel like they need this win to really become relevant. I love them. I mean, they've shown to me that they are able to pull out these moves, these tag team moves that are awesome. I don't know why the crowd is just kind of not doing anything. I mean, they've started to boo, and that's what I want. That's what everybody wants, is just some crowd reaction to them of some sort, because they deserve it. And this win will no doubt give them the heat that they need. And DIY needs something to chase. They're the baby faces. They need something to chase in this scenario. On to the championship match, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Bobby Roode. And the winner of this, contrary to what most people believe, is going to be Shinsuke Nakamura. Now let me lay out my plan before you come at me. I believe that Nakamura will win this match, and it's great hype for this match. This is booked as the biggest money match in NXT history, and it should be a great match. I mean, both these performers can do great work in the ring. And let me lay out my plan. Nakamura wins here because he's not coming up to the main roster of the Royal Rumble. I know that people are hoping, but there's already some NXT talent who is going to come in the Royal Rumble, and I'm going to tell you later on in the Royal Rumble. So right here, Nakamura is going to win, but Roode will win in Orlando, and Nakamura will come up to the main roster after WrestleMania. That's what's going to happen. Sorry, but he's not coming up this soon, and I can't see that. But let's get on to the Royal Rumble. Let's get on to the main thing that you guys are here for. Probably not. Maybe there's a lot of NXT fans out there. On to the Royal Rumble. Let's start with the kickoff show. It was announced that Gallows and Anderson would take on Cesaro and Sheamus for the Raw Tag Team Championships. And the winners are going to be Gallows and Anderson. I believe this is the title change that happens right here. They've been building to this the past few weeks, with Gallows and Anderson actually winning a match, technically at first, before it was overturned. And they've been building towards it for about a month or two now. So I think Gallows and Anderson are going to take the tag titles off of Cesaro and Sheamus. Sasha Banks was booked against Nia Jax. I almost said Nia Jax. And the winner is going to be Nia Jax. I'm sorry for you Sasha fans out there, but Nia Jax she's got to assert her dominance in this situation. This is their first match. She's got to show that Sasha has a big mountain to climb, and that mountain wouldn't be very high if she just came out and beat Nia Jax in the first match. So this is what makes sense. I'm sorry, but this is what makes sense. Nia Jax goes over in that. Let's get on the main card. Now the first part of this is Rollins is not in the Royal Rumble like we saw on Monday Night Raw this last week. But I believe the show will start off with Rollins' music, him coming out saying, I want a spot in the Royal Rumble. It wasn't fair on Monday night or something like that. Don't say it wasn't fair because that's kind of heelish, but they'll do something about that. And a Rollins qualification match is what's going to kick off the show, and I believe that the fire is going to hit and Kane is going to come out. Number one, he's big. They need somebody big to come in because they're trying to make it to where Rollins isn't in the Rumble. Number two, their history. You know their history. I'm not going to go over it, and this just makes sense to me. At first, I was thinking Mark Henry, but then I thought of Kane, and I was like, that's perfect. He didn't have anything to do with the Rumble, and that's just perfect. On to the SmackDown 6-woman tag. The participants are going to be Becky Lynch, Naomi, and Nicki Bella, versus Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, and Natalya. And the winners in this are going to be the heels. It's going to be Mickie James and Asuka, Alexa, and Natalya in this situation. For one reason only, Mickie James has to win her first WWE match on the main roster. She has to win. That's my only justification for this. On to the Rich Swann versus Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship. Rich Swann walks in as champion and leaves not champion. Neville is going to win this. Neville cannot lose this match. He is the king of the cruiserweights. He is the best thing about the cruiserweight division right now, and they need to build that division around him, starting with him winning at the Royal Rumble. Quickly, on to Charlotte versus Bayley for the Raw Women's Championship. The winner in this is going to be Charlotte. Sorry. Once again, there's a lot of Bayley fans out there. I'm one of them. But Charlotte she wins clean in this. She has to win clean, not by any sort of dusty finish or anything like that. She has to win clean in this because that makes Bayley's struggle even greater. That means that Bayley has got to up her game even more, and that adds to the story that they're telling. Charlotte has to win in this situation. Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns for no disqualification match with Chris Jericho in the Shark Cage for the Universal Championship. And the winner, once again, I have to be sorry, it's going to be Roman Reigns. Sorry, but this is what they're building to. They took the U.S. title off of him. Maybe they're going to swerve us, and maybe they just took it off of him to swerve us into thinking that he's going to win. But I'm just going with the safe bet right here and saying that he's going to win. And it makes sense for Kevin Owens versus Y2J at WrestleMania. Kevin Owens could take it out on Chris Jericho. He could take his loss out on Chris Jericho and lash out on him. And the semi-main event, AJ Styles versus John Cena. This has to be before the Rumble match. I believe that this is the main event. This is going to be the best match of the night other than the Rumble match. The best regular match of the night. And the winner, I have to be sorry for a fourth time now, John Cena. And I definitely don't want him to win, but it's just what's probably going to happen. And this has to come to pass to justify my WrestleMania 33 booking from the other day. So, no way Cena loses to AJ 3 times. That makes no sense that he would lose to 4 times, actually. He lost to him at No Mercy, technically. So, there's no way that he loses to AJ Styles 4 times. He's never lost to anybody that many times. That would be 3 times in a row. And I'm sorry, it's just what's going to happen. This is going to be a stellar match, though. And hopefully the crowd will at least get into it a little bit when Cena wins his 16th championship and ties Ric Flair. And onto the Rumble match itself. This should be one of the best Rumble matches we've ever seen. It is so unpredictable. There's so many elements that could be thrown in. Number one I want to get into is surprise entrance. Now, this one's going to surprise a lot of people. Ric Flair, you saw the deadlift video, and I saw on Facebook the other day where he was giving away some tickets to Royal Rumble. I'm just putting 2 and 2 together right here and guessing that Ric Flair is going to be there. What a pop, though, for Ric Flair. Samoa Joe is going to enter, and I'll tell more about him later. And, of course, the new Hall of Famer, Kurt Angle, is going to come in to the Royal Rumble as a surprise entrant. The Final Four is what I want to get into next, and that's Strowman, Samoa Joe, Undertaker, and Seth Rollins. Remember when I said that Seth Rollins was going to have a qualification match where he's going to win that qualification match, and he's going to go on to the Rumble, and he's going to get into the Final Four where he gets screwed over by Triple H. Triple H comes out and takes Rollins out of the Rumble. The final 2 is going to be the Young Lions, Strowman and Joe, even though Joe's not that young. Strowman and Joe are going to face off. Braun Strowman and Samoa Joe, the 2 monsters that are going to be in the future. The 2 future Brock Lesnars, the 2 future Undertakers, the 2 future Big Shows, whatever, the 2 monsters of the future. And the winner is going to be Samoa Joe. I remember when I said in my WrestleMania 33 video that Strowman was going to win the Rumble, but I've overturned that and said Samoa Joe is going to. Nothing's going to change in that WrestleMania 33 fantasy booking, though, because Strowman will have a legitimate take at the title as well. So Samoa Joe's going to win the Royal Rumble match. Those are my predictions. I hope that they're at least plausible. So until my review of the Royal Rumble and NXT TakeOver, I'll see you later.